All right. Now, I don't know if you saw this story, but this is a pretty big one as well. You can see the headline at Reuters: 2 Biden judicial nominees withdraw from consideration. This was yesterday's story, late breaking yesterday afternoon. And you can see this is one of the candidates here, or nominees, for a lifetime position on the bench. This is a Washington State Superior Court judge. Her name is Charnelle Marie Bjelkengren. Now, she might look familiar to you. And there's a reason why she might look familiar to you, because about 8 or 9 months ago, we presented a video of her nomination process where Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana asked her a couple of questions, as he is wont to do. They were some pretty basic questions. Now, I'm going to play this video for you. This is from, like I said, 9-10 months ago during the nomination process. And I want you to remember that not only is this person a nominee for a lifetime position on the federal court, but she is currently a Washington State Superior Court judge. She is currently making life and death decisions with regard to law and order in the state of Washington. Watch.
Judge on the far end. Tell me what Article 5 of the Constitution does.
Article 5 is not coming to mind at the moment.
Okay. How about Article 2?
Neither is Article 2.
Yeah, I just want to say that my guess is that this judge at the most is 40 years old, probably in her late 30s, right? I'm not always a great judge of that, and I know it's inappropriate to talk about a woman's age, but I think it's relevant to make this point, because I know a lot of people would look at this and they say, well, he's asking her these arcane constitutional questions. I don't think Article 2 and Article 5 of the Constitution is very arcane. The Constitution is not that long of a document, right? But let's stipulate for that for a minute. Oh, this is could that most judges and lawyers don't have to deal with the Constitution at that granular level on a regular basis. She was in law school probably 12 years ago. And you have to take constitutional law. That's one of the prerequisites. I mean, unless you went to Harvard. God knows what the prerequisites are there. They've replaced the con law class with, Ibram X. Kendi's anti-racist baby class, perhaps, over at Harvard. But assuming she didn't go to Harvard, because she can actually apparently put a sentence or two together. It's not like it was so long ago that she had to take that constitutional law class. It shouldn't be something that she can't even recall from her college days, which calls into question our law schools right now. But let's begin this again, because the questions are pretty basic. I mean, I would argue these might be things that a brand new citizen to the United States of America, a legal citizen, when they take their citizenship class, actually has to go through.
On the far end. Tell me what Article 5 of the Constitution does.
Article 5 is not coming to mind at the moment.
Okay. How about Article 2?
Neither is Article 2.
Okay. Do you know what purposivism is?
In my 12 years as an assistant attorney general and my 9 years serving as a judge, I was not faced with that precise question. We are the highest trial court in Washington state, so I'm frequently faced with issues that I'm not familiar with, and I thoroughly review the law, research, and apply the law to the facts presented to me.
Well, you're going to be faced with it if you're confirmed. I can assure you of that.
Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana, the master of advising consent. Honestly, I don't know where we would be without him, to tell you the truth. That entire questioning process sort of called up certain vibes that should seem familiar to most people, right? I mean, you've all seen it.
Okay. Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Put that woman on the federal bench. Put that woman on the federal bench. Lifetime appointment. As long as she votes right on abortion. I mean, that was the vibe, wasn't it? When she couldn't answer what Article 2 was, that's when she went full on Miss Teen South Carolina.
In my 12 years as an assistant attorney general and my 9 years serving as a judge, I was not faced with that precise question. We are the highest trial court in Washington state, so I'm frequently faced with issues that I'm not familiar with, and I thoroughly review the law, research, and apply the law to the facts presented to me.
So the bottom line here, and the most important aspect of this story, is that after 10 months after that disastrous moment in the Judiciary Oversight Committee, that judge, Judge Bjelkengren, has asked the Biden administration to remove her name from consideration. She will not be sitting on the federal court, although President Biden has every right to renominate her and submit her. Something tells me that I don't think that will happen. I do want to point out, though, that Senator Kennedy did a very good and smart thing yesterday when this news came down. He took to the X platform. He represented that video so everyone can see it, and then reminded everybody in a very gracious way exactly what's at stake here. President Biden sent us a nominee who didn't know the basics of the U.S. Constitution. Judge Bjelkengren is right to bow out, but President Biden just keeps trying to put unqualified people on the bench for life. People who don't know the law have no business running our courtrooms. And yeah, it was very good for him to repost that video and remind everybody exactly what the Biden administration is attempting to do with our federal courts.